Before I speak to my kids, I wanted to acknowledge everyone in this audience who have done so much for our schools, for Hartshorn, for our community. I'd like to acknowledge the wonderful fifth grade teachers who have culminated 6 years for many of our students in the finest education possible. I'd like to acknowledge Mrs. LaCroix, who has provided the kinds of leadership that every principal hopes to have as a partner, somebody who sees the value of children and does everything possible to make that work. I'd like to acknowledge all of the other teachers who have made a difference, and especially to Mrs. Silver, Mrs. Goldberg, who are leaving us, but only temporarily, because they'll always be in our hearts. And our program and all of the work that we do today and the beauty of the music would never happen without the incredible leadership and talent and brilliance of Ms. Smith. And lastly, before I speak to the children, I'd like to speak to a lot of parents in this audience. There are many, many parents in this audience, and you know who you are, that have made this school a remarkable place to be, both for the children, for the teachers, and for those of us who think we provide a service to everyone. You may be leaving Hartshorn, but Hartshorn's not leaving you. It'll be in your heart forever. Remember that, please. Now to talk. Most of us have known each other for as long as 6 years. I've watched you grow up and become student leaders at Hartshorn. This really came to mind when I saw the yearbook pictures and the slideshow at the fifth grade celebration last week. I thought how quickly time passes. And when I saw my pictures, I realized that time has really passed. I remember you as these tiny kindergarten students looking up in awe at all the big people around you. How grown up you have become. Now you are as tall and as impressive as can be. In fact, some of you can look your parents right in the eye. During your time at Hartshorn, we tried to teach you many things. To love to read, to enjoy writing for many purposes and in different genres, to appreciate the world around you, to think clearly, to solve problems, and to work together. These are just some of the lessons that we hope that you take with you when you leave Hartshorn. When I think about these past years, these past 6 years, I say how grown up you are. I remember spending a lot of time on the field at recess with both boys and girls during the last few years. Do you remember some of our conversations? It was all part of growing up, learning to solve problems, discuss issues, and finding someone to talk to. Each one of you has completed an important part of your journey through childhood. I see young people who are responsible, willing to be responsible for their actions. I see young people who listen to each other when there is a problem and try to find ways to work it out. I see young people who recognize that society has problems and that your actions, however small, can be part of the solution. I have seen each one of you grow personally. How grown up you are now. This year, when I read some of your writing, when I saw your research projects, when I heard the sophistication and intensity of your literature circle discussions, when I watched you engage in solving math problems and doing science experiments, when I saw your skill using computers, when I listened to your music and enjoyed your artwork, I could see how you have grown intellectually and academically. There is no doubt you are truly ready to leave Hartshorn and start your middle school career. This year, we continue to grow as a community. Your generosity for others, your sense of giving, and your willingness to help others make Hartshorn special. Watching you greet kindergarten and first grade students in the morning when you were at safeties made me very proud to be your principal and to know that you represented Hartshorn so well. Seeing you share your stories with kindergarten or first grade students, helping out in a Hartshorn habitat, watching you make sandwiches and pack toiletries for Bridges, hearing your applause for each other and your teachers, listening to the band, orchestra, and chorus perform, and knowing that you raise money for worthy causes show me that you are leaving Hartshorn with the most important lessons in life. The lessons of caring and compassion, sharing and giving, respect and understanding. You have contributed to improving the lives of others in many ways, counting over 8,000 box tops to donate funds to Hartshorn, making Valentine's Day cards for veterans, volunteering time for community outreach, working in soup kitchens, adopting soldiers in Iraq, not accepting birthday gifts, but rather making donations to Doctors Without Borders, participating in the Oceana Project to protect our precious oceans, and helping raise $30,000 for Haiti relief. This too is how you have grown. Lastly, I have a request for each of you. You have not traveled this journey alone. Throughout your years at Hartshorn, there have been many helping hands guiding you along. Sometimes wiping a tear, other times sharing laughter, often praising your work, and sometimes encouraging you to make it better. There have been many people who have made Hartshorn a special time for you. Take a moment and think of at least one person who made a difference in your life at Hartshorn. Do you have that person in mind? Do you have that person in mind? Please, before you leave Hartshorn, find that person and say thank you. That will be the best memory you can leave behind at Hartshorn. I love you all and congratulate you on everything you have accomplished. Have a wonderful summer and enjoy your new experience in middle school. Hartshorn. We have one last presentation. Mrs. Aya? Mrs. Aya.
Hi. At this time in the PTO, we'd just like to acknowledge the 5th grade teachers and Miss Smith for all your hard work. It was really a great present. I don't even have a 5th grader, but it was actually really nice to sit through. It was very nice. Solid. So for Mrs. Gordon,